So at 11:30 p.m. this past Monday, TImothy Caughman, a 66-year-old black man, was murdered by a white supremacist with a 26-inch sword for no other reason besides the fact that he was black. It's reported that his murderer was James Harris Jackson, a white man who drove from Baltimore, Maryland, all the way to New York specifically to kill some black people. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to feel better or not that it was so explicit why he murdered a black guy. Because you know, a lot of times when we get murdered, there's a lot of excuses around the shit. You're like, oh no, I was scared, or oh no, he was going to attack me, and you're like, okay. Jackson, who has been linked to hate groups, apparently just rolled into the Times Square police station and was like, oh yo, it was me. It was me. I'm the dude who was murdering people and shit. Jackson had been harboring ill feelings towards black folks for about 10 years now, and he decided to roll up to New York City to murder some because New York City is the media capital of the world, and he wanted to get some attention and make a statement. So no, he wasn't attacked. No, he didn't have an actual issue with this 66-year-old black man. He just decided to murder him for no fucking reason. And we know as of recent, there's been lots of conversations around the responsibility of media, especially in the rise of he who shall not be named, but we know he's gonna tweet a lot of dumb shit. We know that media has an important role in the story that it tells, especially how it frames things and what it puts out to the public. Their words matter. But then all of a sudden you're reading about a white supremacist murdering a black man, and then this bullshit all of a sudden pops up and you're like, I'm sorry, what? What the fuck does his priors or where he was living have to do with anything that's going on in this story? This story is pretty fucking cut and dry. A white supremacist took a trek to murder black people in New York City so that he can get attention, and somehow we're talking about the priors and where this murdered black man was living, and like what happened? Like, seriously? That's what you thought was necessary and important to this fucking story? Are you kidding me? And the motherfuckers wonder why people don't trust the media. I'm not talking about like the dumb motherfuckers who run around yelling fake news or some shit like that. I'm talking about the rest of us who have common sense. It seems not to matter what black people do at all. We can be murdered, racistly murdered. The guy's like, I'm racistly murdering you. And somehow it's like, you know, this black guy had some priors. You know, I mean, this guy, he's been arrested before. I mean, we should just let you know. Yes, he was racistly murdered, but he was no angel. In order to be killed by a fucking white supremacist, you still have to somehow have a clean rap sheet. Otherwise, somehow they're talking about what you've done in the past. And framing, still a problem. Look at this story in the New York Post with the headline, well-dressed suspect surrenders. like, I'm sorry. Why the fuck are we talking about what he was wearing? There was a man was murdered. What, well-dressed suspect? Murdering suspect is what you mean to say. Murder suspect. White supremacist murder suspect, motherfucker. Which would be a really weird headline. What the fuck are you talking about with his clothing or his fashion choice? What the hell does that have to do with anything? I'm sorry. I was like, well, no, we had to, he was well-dressed. I mean, this could be a new age of racism, you know? It's the well-dressed white supremacist, you know? GQ hate. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, Elon, what do you, want? Like, you would be upset if they didn't cover it, and now you're upset that they are covering it. Like, you're just never happy. And then I would respond to you by telling you to get the entire fuck out of here. Listen, words matter. Framing matters. And for a moment, just think about how black people are supposed to feel about this. Literally, white supremacist comes to town on a black murder spree and only stops because he gets his picture in the news, and then somehow we're talking about, well, a well-dressed suspect, and you know that guy he murdered had some priors. It's like, seriously? This is the fucking world that you guys want to live in? Okay. No, really, media, get your shit together. This is not acceptable. This is not even something new. This is the type of critiques you've been getting for decades, okay? Get your shit together. My name is Elon James White, and you are watching This Week in Blackness.